Thanks so much. We're joined now by Rick Shenkman. He's the author of Political Animals: How Our Stone Age Brain Gets in the Way of Smart Politics. Donald Trump is not on the ballot, but he's certainly impacting the voting. As Nathan was pointing out, about 40 million Americans expected to have already voted in some states, already surpassing their 2014 vote totals with just the early voting. It's remarkable. Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist Chris Hedges, in an op-ed, is saying that Trump has transformed the Republican Party into a cult. That's a pretty harsh assessment, but he does motivate people on both sides, doesn't he?
He does. You know, Virginia Woolf had a wonderful observation about politics. She said, what politicians do is they write their messages in chalk, and they do it in really big letters. That's Donald Trump. He's a genius at marketing, and a stable genius at that. He knows how to get a simple message that you could put on a bumper sticker and get everybody talking about, even the Democrats getting excited about it, the base of the Republican Party getting excited. That's what he's really good at, and that's what he's been doing the last 3 weeks.
Well, we know Trump's not on the ballot. The caravan isn't on the ballot. Healthcare isn't on the ballot. And, it seems that's all we're hearing about leading up to tomorrow. Which of these issues do you think are going to resonate with voters?
Well, the caravan is going to work with his base. I know that your reporter earlier said that what he's doing is playing on people's fears. I don't actually think that the social science research demonstrates that. What he's doing is he's playing on people's anger. They are angry when they see thousands of people in a caravan coming to America, and he has framed it in the narrative of it's an invasion. Well, that makes people angry. And when people are angry, they tend to get out and want to take action, as opposed to when they're fearful and they want to cower in the corner somewhere. Well, his people aren't cowering in the corner. So what he's trying to do is generate enough energy to get his base out. And that's worked many times in presidential elections. That's what Karl Rove did during the George W. Bush administration. He would do everything to motivate the base to get them out working. But is this going to be a base election? There are so many independents and suburban women and young people who have been deeply alienated by Donald Trump over the last 2 years, actually the 3 years, going back to his campaign for president in 2016, and they're just fed up. So they're angry too. So you've got two pools of very angry voters, and what we're going to find out tomorrow, finally, is who's angrier and who's actually getting out and going to the polls and voting. That's going to be the key. What electorate is going to actually go to the polls tomorrow? And of course, we've had these 40 million who've already been voting.
If Democrats end up winning the House, and although some say it's unlikely the Senate, what does that mean for the Trump administration moving forward?
It's going to be like a tornado hitting the White House. And the people are going to run for the hills. They're going to look for safety. It's not going to be pretty. Donald Trump is going to possibly wish that he had never run for president if he hasn't already reached that conclusion because of the impact that it's had on his reputation and his businesses, the big hit he's taken to his businesses. So I think it's just going to be a disaster for the Republicans if the Democrats take the House, because now you're going to have all these chairmen of all these committees who have subpoena power. And because of a rule change that the Republicans pushed through a few years ago, the Democrat chairmen don't need the Republican side to approve their subpoenas. So you've got a half a dozen committees in the House who are going to be issuing subpoenas up and down the federal government. Donald Trump is going to really be, he's going to be crying. It's going to be very, very rough on him.
Rick, if you can, briefly, what race should we watch tomorrow? What's the one that you'll be keeping your eye on?
Greg Gianforte in Montana. This is a state that Donald Trump won by 20%. He ought to be sweeping both the Senate and their one congressman seat, but he's in a real fight. And if Gianforte loses, I would say that augurs that Democrats are going to do very, very well tomorrow. So we'll wait and see.
We will watch that one. Rick, thanks so much.